Hey, hi everyone, and good evening. Uh, Welcome to today's webinar session on Wi-Fi 6 for enterprise campuses. I would like to thank each one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend this session. This is a first session of a series of webinars which we have planned for 2022. I am Sanjeev. I am part of a wireless consulting group. With me, I have Divya and Nilesh on the panel. Divya is heading marketing for D-Link India, and Nilesh is part of wireless consulting group and product engineering team. Nilesh, would like to say hi?
Hey, hi everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you once again for joining this session. During this session, if you come across any query, you can use the chat function to post your queries, and we will try to address during the session or the post session. You can also send us an email to the mail IDs, which I'll be sharing later to the end of my session. So the agenda for this session for next about 45-50 minutes, we'll discuss about the expanding role of Wi-Fi in enterprise campuses. Then what are the emerging applications and what are the driving factors as far as the Wi-Fi is concerned. Then we'll discuss about some of the common concerns with the existing Wi-Fi deployments, why customers need to consider upgrading to Wi-Fi 6, or why customer need to consider Wi-Fi 6 for the new deployments. Then we will discuss about Wi-Fi 6 key technologies and applications in the enterprise campuses. And last, we will discuss about D-Link wireless solution and the D-Link advantage for partners. So let's get started. When we talk about expanding role of Wi-Fi in enterprise campuses, first thing is we see there is increasing adoption of cloud or SaaS-based applications. If you talk about traditional IT infrastructure, it was mostly hub and spoke model, right? All the core infrastructures, like it could be servers, storage, it could be any applications like email, ERP, HR related application. All these applications were hosted in the corporate office data center, and all the other campuses, branch offices connected to data center via wide area network using the expensive, it could be MPLS, lease line, or a VPN connection. So in a traditional IT infrastructure model, there were a lot of issues like poor application performance. There is a data loss issue due to limited bandwidth or the connectivity issues, and scalability was also an issue. So many enterprises, what they've done is they've actually moved from the on-premise IT infrastructure model to the cloud or the SaaS-based application model. So today, most of the enterprises have moved to Office 365. Even the customer engagement is actually shifted to, you can say, to Salesforce. All the other enterprise application, it could be any application. They're all today they are hosted on the AWS or Microsoft Cloud Platform or other private clouds. For meetings, we use Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and all the cloud-based collaborative tools. So all these applications are mostly accessed from the laptops or the smartphones. And these laptop devices connect to the network via wireless. So in the campus kind of scenario, the user expects anywhere, anytime access in the campus. User like to move around the campus without losing access to all these applications, which actually increases the need of having a robust wireless infrastructure throughout the campus. Second, almost all the enterprises, businesses, they're actually in the mid of digital transformation, basically to improve their products, services, and the customer experience. So today we can say that digital transformation is changing almost every company into a technology company. And most of the technologies which we use in the digital transformation, like it could be like cloud computing, mobility, it could be IoT, analytics, all these technologies are network centric. So digital transformation actually has increased the importance of network today, because it is the network which connects everything, the customer, employees, suppliers, cloud, IoT. It is the networks that connects devices, data, people, processes. It is the network which enables data sharing, and enterprise can use that data to drive the business. So today the role of network has changed from being just an enabler. Today the network has become the foundation, on top of which all the enterprises run, all the businesses run. So when you talk about the network foundation today, wireless is at the core. It has actually shifted from nice to have to primary means of connectivity for many enterprise customers. And the third trend, if you talk about today, IoT is actually no more an innovative concept. It has become the necessity. It is the reality. So there are many IoT applications which are actually all these IoT applications are growing in the enterprises. With IoT, enterprises can provide a safe, smart, and healthy environment. And at the same time, they can actually save a lot of cost on the energy, manpower, and other things. And if you talk about the IoT solution, it actually basically consists of different type of sensors. It could be lighting, thermostats, occupancy, air quality monitoring. It could be like parking, security, and other different type of sensors. Then the wireless connectivity, then the cloud analytics, then other applications. So as far as the connectivity is concerned, there are many wireless protocol options like Bluetooth, Zigbee, cellular, and traditional Wi-Fi, of course. So Wi-Fi was actually not the primary choice for the IoT a few years ago, as it was not a battery-friendly solution. But the things are changing because of advancements in the new Wi-Fi standards. And Wi-Fi we will find everywhere in the campus, throughout the campus. And Wi-Fi actually uses the existing infrastructure. And it also simplifies the connectivity for the IoT devices. So today, many developers are developing their IoT products for the Wi-Fi platform. And today, many IoT devices use the 2.4G because of this lower cost, the low power consumption. But the challenge is 2.4G spectrum is already overcrowded in the enterprise due to the limited non-overlapping channels. So that's where the Wi-Fi 6 comes in. And if you talk about the future of work, we have already started seeing employees returning to the offices. Still, many companies have extended work from home. Some companies till June, some companies till December. However, if you talk about the future of work, it is going to be hybrid. It's a mix of what we had before COVID and what we are dealing right now. So one thing we have seen during this period is there's an increased dependency on a cloud-hosted application like video communication platform, which we discussed in the previous slide also, like Zoom, WebEx, Teams. And we think that all these applications are here to stay. So even if we have employees back in the office, we are still going to have a hybrid model. Some employees are working from home, some employees working from office, and we will still be conducting these meetings via all these collaborative platforms. And all these collaborative tools are mostly accessed from laptops and the smartphones. And all these devices, smartphones or the laptops, connect to the network via wireless. So today, what is good Wi-Fi? I mean, good Wi-Fi has actually become the essential part of doing business. Good Wi-Fi, it doesn't mean that it's not about the coverage. It is not just about the coverage, because it should have certain characteristics like supporting high user density, best security, then support wide range of applications, then low latency and high quality of service. If you talk about the existing wireless networks which are deployed a few years back, most of those wireless networks are basically designed to support only data applications or normal browsing. But the collaborative platform which we discussed and which we are using today, they are really high bandwidth applications that require a lot of network bandwidth. Users really expect a very, very low latency network connection so that there is no jitter or there is no loss in the video or the audio. So one side, the applications are actually demanding for the high bandwidth. On the other side, the number of users, the devices are increasing. So, and if you talk about the older access point, those older access points, they are actually designed for the limited users or the devices capacity. And 2.4G is already overcrowded in the enterprises. And even if you talk about the 5G, it is actually very difficult to use the higher channel bandwidth like 160 megahertz or the 80 megahertz channel in the enterprise networks due to the interference or it could be due to the technology limitation in previous wireless standards. Then apart from that, security is also a concern with the previous standards because WPA2 were vulnerable to external attacks. So these are some of the challenges with the older networks. And this is where the Wi-Fi 6 comes in. So let's discuss what is Wi-Fi 6 and what makes it better than the previous standards. So There are 802.11 wireless standards, which we call it as a Wi-Fi standards. They are actually developed by IEEE. 802.11 is actually a family of standards which are continuously evolving, improving, wherein each standard brings a faster speed, very low latency, and a better user experience. IEEE 802.11ax is the latest standard of the family, which is actually builds on the success of previous 802.11ac as well as 11n standard. 802.11x is not just the one more new standard with just simple improvement in the speed. It's a very, very significant upgrade. We'll discuss why it's a significant upgrade. And it's a whole new technology compared to the previous standards. So here we can see some basic comparison with the previous standard. And we will discuss in the coming slides about the technologies which makes 11x very significant upgrade. Here, if you look at the basic comparison, 802.11ax supports maximum theoretical speed of 9.6 Gbps, which is almost 40% increase in the speed compared to 802.11ac. The 11ac's maximum theoretical speed was 6.9 Gbps with the 8 spatial streams and 160 MHz support. But however, 8 spatial streams and 160 MHz was never widely adopted in 802.11ac. The high-end 11ac AP, which are available in the market today, supports maximum 3 to 3.5 Gbps. And the second difference is 11ac operates only in 5 GHz. It only supports 5 GHz. The last upgrade to 5 GHz was with 11ac, that was in 2013. And 11ac Wave 2 was in 2016. That was almost 6 years ago. And the last upgrade to 2.4G was in 2009. That was almost 10 to 11 years back. Whereas 802.11ax is a new standard which upgrades and operates in both the 2.4 GHz as well as 5 GHz range. This is one of the reasons why this is a very, very significant upgrade. As you can see from these tables, if you compare the nominal data rate improvement, 802.11ax supports almost double the bandwidth of almost double the bandwidth of 11n in 2.4 GHz and nearly 40% increase over 11ac in 5 GHz. So in the previous slide, we discussed about different wireless IEEE wireless standards and their nominal data rate support. But from a common user point of view, there's always a confusion, there's always a concern about the standards while buying the product and concern about the wireless performance due to connection related issues. Until recently, these Wi-Fi generations were actually known by the IEEE standard that required a common user to understand whether 802.11n was faster or 11ac is faster to help user identify the devices that actually provide the latest Wi-Fi experience. There's a industry organization body called as Wi-Fi Alliance. They have introduced a simplified naming scheme to make Wi-Fi generations very, very easier to understand for a common user, similar to how we understand 3G, 4G, and upcoming 5G. So the latest generation of Wi-Fi, which is based on IEEE 802.11ax standard, is known as Wi-Fi 6. The previous generation of Wi-Fi, which is actually based on 11ac standard, is known as Wi-Fi 5, and the 11n standard, which is known as Wi-Fi 4. There is one more new standard, which is Wi-Fi 6E, which is also known as 11ax. It extends Wi-Fi to 6 GHz apart from the existing 2.45 GHz. But currently 6 GHz is not de-licensed in India, and currently 6 GHz is not available for the commercial Wi-Fi deployment. It is used for some satellite-based broadcasting applications and some utility applications. Basically, this generation naming will help a common user to differentiate and easily identify the wireless technology, and it will also increase the adoption of latest Wi-Fi technology, which will give the user a better experience. So when we talk about the wireless experience, it majorly depends on the speed, coverage, and the latency. So for a common user, always thinks that the Wi-Fi experience depends on the signal strength. So if the signal strength is better, then the performance should be better. The user might connect to the network whose signal strength is very, very excellent, but still might not get the performance, as the Wi-Fi network he is connected might be supporting the older standard. So in order to address this, Wi-Fi Alliance has introduced user interface visuals, basically to identify the wireless generation of a network which user wants to connect. So these naming and user interface visuals are intended to be used widely throughout the Wi-Fi ecosystems. It is not just the access point or a router. It will be used in a smartphone, tablet, laptops, and other business consumer devices which have the built-in Wi-Fi capability. So in future, if the entire ecosystem of all the hardware manufacturers, OS vendors, even the service providers adopt this naming and user interfaces visuals in their solution, then that will actually help the common user to easily identify the wireless capability of the product and wireless network connections, similar to the mobile data network connections like Edge or 3G or 4G, how it is displayed on our smartphone or the tablets. So we discussed about the standard, the Wi-Fi 6 standard and the new generational naming. So Wi-Fi 6, as we discussed, it is not just about the speed. There are so many more advancements compared to the previous generations. Wi-Fi 6 basically achieved these advancements with 6 primary features. One is multi-user MIMO, then more special streams on both 2.4 as well as 5 GHz spectrum, Ofdma, Bss coloring, then 1024 QAM as well as TWT. So let's quickly discuss these key features one by one. Multi-MIMO is a technology basically that allows access point to serve multiple clients simultaneously. So multi-user MIMO was actually first introduced in 802.11 AC Wave 2, but that support was limited to only the downlink. The critical difference between Wi-Fi 5 multi-user MIMO and Wi-Fi 6 multi-user MIMO is how many multi-user MIMO clients communicate with AP at the same time. Wi-Fi 6 is limited to only 4 clients. Though 11N AC has the theoretically supported up to 8x8 architecture, but we never saw any AP supporting that, adopting that. Then Wi-Fi 6 is designed to support 8 clients in both downlink as well as uplink direction, bidirectional transmission, that too simultaneously. So now there's a much improvement in the radio technologies, and 8x8 functionality can be fully commercially supported in the high-end 11AX access points. So this bidirectional multi-user MIMO will actually support better download as well as the upload speeds. And one thing we have observed during the last 2-3 years, that there is a surge in the uplink data demand and a trend towards a higher uplink data consumption due to a lot of upstream activity by the users, frequently uploading huge work-related documents, videos to social media, then IoT device sending data to cloud, then video conferencing and other collaborative tools. So this uplink multi-user MIMO will enable devices to upload the content simultaneously to the access point. The third difference between Wi-Fi 6 multi-user MIMO and Wi-Fi 5 multi-user MIMO is Wi-Fi 5 operates only in 5 GHz, whereas Wi-Fi 6 supports multi-user MIMO in both 2.4 GHz as well as 5 GHz. So Wi-Fi 6 multi-user MIMO will support smoother 4K video streaming, could be a high definition video conferencing, faster uploads, and it will drastically reduce the latency for video conferencing and collaborative tools. And that will actually increase the capacity to handle more and more devices. The second key technology used in Wi-Fi 6 is OFDMA. The previous standard supported OFDM, which supports a single user data communication at a time. And whereas the Wi-Fi 6 supports OFDMA. This OFDMA technology is used in 4G LTE, and now this has been actually included in the Wi-Fi 6. And Wi-Fi 6 will be the first Wi-Fi standard to utilize OFDMA. So how this OFDMA works is it actually divides the channel into smaller sub-channel and dynamically allocates the portion of bandwidth available from the access point to the clients. So thereby it can deliver data to the multiple devices at the same time. A single transmission from the access point can communicate with the multiple devices instead of each device having to wait for their turn. So if I have to give you the analogy, as you can see in the video, the left side image, which is a OFDM. Here, an entire vehicle is sent for delivery of one order. Even if that order is very small item or a small data packet, in this case, vehicle is mostly empty, and most of the resources are wasted. Whereas in OFDMA, each truck can carry and deliver multiple parcels or multiple data packets to multiple devices simultaneously in a single trip. So this increases the efficiency, reduces the latency in the high density environment. And this is also ideal for the mixed environments where user devices as well as low bandwidth application like such as IoT, whereas hundreds of IoT devices and users connect to a single access point. Another unique feature in Wi-Fi 6 is Bss coloring. Today we deploy more and more access point. As we deploy more and more access point, actually we face more and more interference issue. So for a good wireless performance, it is important to minimize the impact of interference, because interference can reduce the performance by almost 50%. So in a high density campus environment, there will be many access points with the co-channel interference, overlapping data transmission. And there, in order to minimize that, we have to carefully plan the channel assignment, power assignment, placement of access point in a high density environment, basically to minimize the impact. And it is not just the one-time activity. The spectrum analysis need to be carried out regularly, and required changes need to be made to minimize the interference, which is a time-consuming activity. So in order to address this concern, Wi-Fi 6 offers Bss coloring. So the Bss coloring improves the performance even in the dense environment. Bss coloring basically uses a color of 6-bit identifier for a packet to differentiate between the access points which are using the same channel. So if the access point, say, using a green color identifier, and if it receives a packet of red color, then it will reject to avoid the conflict. As we discussed in the initial slide also, though we have 80 megahertz and 160 megahertz wider channel support in the access point, but we could not use them in the high density environment because of very few non-overlapping channels. But with now Bss coloring, we can use the wider channel efficiently even in the high density environment. Then Wi-Fi 6 supports 1024 QAM. QAM is basically the modulation which converts digital signals 0, 1 to radio waves. So Wi-Fi 5 supports 256 QAM, which supports 8-bit transmission. Now 1024 QAM support is, now the Wi-Fi 6 supports 1024 QAM, which increases the bits from 8-bit to 10 bits, which is almost 25% increase. So now it can encode more data in the same amount of spectrum, so which increases the throughput for in the Wi-Fi devices, which will be helpful for the bandwidth intensive applications. Then Wi-Fi 6 supports the target wake time, which basically helps to enhance the battery life in some of the devices. Here AP and client negotiate and define a specific time for the data transfer, so that there is no overlapping between the users. And client device need not keep the antenna powered all the time and search for the signal or the transmission. Basically, this will help to improve the battery life, and this feature is more useful for the low powered IoT sensors, which transmits data once in a while. Wi-Fi 6 also means better security. Now, actually 2 years back, the Wi-Fi got the biggest security update, which is WPA3, which is a new security protocol. The previous security protocols were WPA2, which actually had some loopholes. It was vulnerable to some offline dictionary attack, which hackers used to hack into the networks. So now we have a new WPA3 security standard for personal as well as the enterprise network, which will provide a better security using the latest security algorithms and latest and stronger cipher suits. WPA3 has two parts. One is WPA3 personal and enterprise, similar to WPA2. WPA3 personal supports SAE instead of PSK, and SAE uses forward secrecy to prevent any offline dictionary attack or decryption attack. And WPA3 enterprise supports 192-bit with the AES 256 GCMP encryption. So there is one more new standard, Wi-Fi enhanced open for public networks. It is basically for the public networks. It doesn't provide any authentication, but it provides encryption and privacy in open, non-password protected networks such as guest access or a public hotspot, cafes, hotels, and airports. So Wi-Fi Alliance has made WPA3 support mandatory for Wi-Fi 6 product certification. So we discussed about key technologies and benefits like increased capacity for the high density environments, then performance in both high density as well as the congested networks, then higher data rates, then improved power efficiency of client devices using TWT. So Wi-Fi 6 actually provides a foundation and a scalability for the existing networks as well as the new emerging applications, especially for applications which require very high bandwidth and low latency. So if you talk about the enterprise campuses, Wi-Fi 6 based access points can be deployed in a high density environment, like it could be large work area, training room, could be conference room, cafeteria, reception, or similar crowded environments. So basically, in the enterprise network, Wi-Fi 6 will provide the network foundation on top of which all customers can run all high bandwidth applications, cloud applications. It could be collaborative tools, or any high quality video streaming applications with a low latency, as well as the IoT applications. So we discussed about Wi-Fi 6, then the key technologies and some of the use cases which will benefit from Wi-Fi 6. And we will see actually more and more benefits of Wi-Fi 6 over the time. Now let's discuss about D-Link wireless solution and what let's see what D-Link has to offer. Before we go to D-Link solutions, let's discuss what type of Wi-Fi solution enterprise customers should be looking at. Because basically, if you see the purpose of any wireless network for that matter, it has to provide a seamless and secure connectivity. It should support multiple applications and multiple users. This is a very simple objective. But behind this, there are so many critical aspects of wireless network that need to be basically controlled to ensure that all the connections are consistent, they are reliable, then authorized, safe. Although the underlying technology is very complex and very sophisticated. But for enterprise customers who wants to deploy, configure, and manage their wireless network, need to be very simple, very cost effective, as well as the hassle free. So when we talk about the wireless network management, the easiest way to manage is to connect directly to the access point and configure individually using the browser. But however, this method is suitable only for the very small networks where we have 5-10 access points. But when it comes to campus, there will be hundreds to thousands of access points, and standalone management is too time consuming, and it can lead to inconsistency in the configuration or the authentication or performance related issue or the roaming issue. So when it comes to wireless, there is no universal requirement, or there is no one solution fits all. So we need to have the flexibility in the solution. We need to customize the solution based on various factors. It could be like deployment, type of deployment, or it could be on-premise, cloud management, or it could be single campus, multiple campus, different scenarios in the campuses. Then there are different performance requirement, then the seamless roaming requirement, security, scalability, reliability. So we need to consider all as a part of our design considerations. And good news is D-Link has a solution for small, medium, and large campuses, as well as the multi-campus requirements. Today, now coming to D-Link solution, today if you talk about the network solutions, they are mostly categorized based on the what type of management they support. So even the D-Link solutions are categorized as on-premise, as well as private cloud, as well as on-premise, as well as one is as well as cloud-based management. So Nucleus Connect solution, which offers both hardware as well as software based on-premise or a private cloud management. Then Nucleus Cloud solution offers cloud-based network management, and Unified Wireless solution offers hardware-based on-premise management. So let's discuss about Nucleus Connect solution. Nucleus Connect solution is actually a centralized network management solution, which is designed for local management, that is on-premise management, as well as private cloud-based management. Nucleus Connect is a very value solution designed for the SMB. Nucleus solution actually makes it very easy to deploy, configure, manage hundreds and thousands of wireless access points. Solution is so flexible with the enterprise class products, access points, and the management features. This solution can be offered even for the enterprise customers or large campuses at the SMB price. Under Nucleus Connect, we have 3 different management options: a cost-effective and a compact Nucleus Connect hub. It's the DNH 100. Then which is actually an appliance which is preloaded with a Nucleus Connect software, which can manage up to 100 access points. Then there is a software DNC 100 which manages up to 5,500 access points. Then a mobile app which supports individual AP management without the use of laptop or the desktop. So the best part is Nucleus Connect is a license-free management solution. Customer has to pay only for the access point hardware, which is actually one-time purchase. There is no separate license required for access points or software, which is absolutely free. Even Nucleus Connect Hub, which is appliance, no separate access point license is required. Customer need to pay only for the DNH 100 appliance, and it will support up to 100 access point management. And it supports browser-based management, so application can be accessed from remote location. And it supports mobile app-based management, which can be downloaded from App Store or Google Play Store. Then it supports different wireless client authentication options for different scenarios, like standard pre-shared key, two latest WPA3 security, then internal captive portal, voucher authentication, payment gateway integration, then 802.1x and radius authentication, which are required for the campus deployments. It supports multi-campus management and role-based management, wherein multiple admin users can be mapped to different campuses for the management. It supports configuration of multiple devices simultaneously using the profiles, whether access points are deployed in a single campus or in the multiple remote branch offices, can be managed from a central location using profiles. And it supports a simple dashboard-based monitoring and basic reporting. And it also supports the single sign-on with the Nucleus Connect portal, wherein multiple DNH or DNC deployed in multiple campuses can be monitored. So this is the Nucleus Connect portfolio overview. So Nucleus Connect solution offers a DAP series access points and different management options based on the size of the network and the number of campuses. We will discuss about the product details, key features of management platform and deployment architecture in coming slides. DAP X2810 and DAP X2850 are the brand new Wi-Fi 6 access points of our Nucleus Connect family. DAP X2810 is a 2x2 model which offers 600 Mbps on 2.4 GHz, 1200 Mbps on 5 GHz. So total aggregated throughput of 1800 Mbps, which is that is 1.8 Gbps. DAP X2850 is a 4x4 model which offers 1.2 Gbps on 2.4 GHz and 2.4 Gbps on 5 GHz. So total aggregated throughput of 3.6 Gbps. As we were discussing previously, Wi-Fi 6 standard supports and it can operate on both 2.4G as well as 5G spectrum. Both 2810 DAP X2810 as well as DAP X2850 supports Wi-Fi 6 on both 2.4G as well as 5G. Because here I just want to share my observation on a few other brand access point which I came across. See, any vendor is actually free to market that their product supports Wi-Fi 6, but regardless of how much Wi-Fi 6 is supported in that product. I came across 2-3 models which are marketed as Wi-Fi 6, but it supports Wi-Fi 6 only on the 5 GHz radio. This means that Wi-Fi 6 is supported only on the 5 GHz, and 2.4G support is limited to Wi-Fi 4, that is 11N, which is a 300 Mbps. And one more model which I came across that is which is marketed as 4x4 Wi-Fi 6, but again that is only on 5G, and 2.4G support was only 2x2. This is basically done to keep the cost down, whereas in D-Link both the models supports Wi-Fi 6 on both 2.4G as well as 5G with full MIMO support. And DAP X2850 offers 2.5G multi-gigabit Ethernet port for the backhaul connectivity to the switch to avoid any bottlenecks at the AP level. In D-Link, we have 1520 multi-gigabit switch series, which supports multi-gigabit PoE ports with a 10G uplink, which can be offered along with this access point. DAP X2810 can be suggested for a medium density requirements like a small work area, reception, meeting rooms, or remote branch offices, or for a general purpose coverage. And DAP X2850 can be offered for high density requirements like large work area, cafeteria, training rooms, and conference halls. both DAP X2810 and X2850 are officially Wi-Fi 6 certified. Basically, in order to get this certification and in order to use this Wi-Fi 6 certified logo, basically access point need to go through the testing process, and only when it meets all the requirement and pass the test process, then only the product is officially certified by Wi-Fi Alliance, and we can use Wi-Fi 6 certified logo. And this certificate can be verified and downloaded from wifi.org. These products are actually certified for the Wi-Fi 6 interoperability, WPA3 security, reliability, and then there are so many other Wi-Fi 6 key features which we have discussed, which are actually mentioned in these reports. These access points are actually certified for even a WMM, for QoS, quality of service, Wi-Fi agile multiband. Basically, these features, this certification ensures that the API has all the intelligent functionalities for a better spectrum management, better resource management, and it supports the standard-based roaming functionalities. And the benefit of having Wi-Fi certified is in the access point is basically, one is it provides the good user experience, better performance, and latest security, and there will not be any interoperability issues. So this is the Nucleus Connect access points portfolio overview. In addition to two new Wi-Fi 6 models which we discussed, the Nucleus Connect AP portfolio offers 2x2, which is a DAP 2610, 2662, then 3x3 DAP 2680, then 4x4 DAP 2682. These are all Wi-Fi 5 ceiling mount models. Then 2x2 wall AP and 2x2 DAP 3666 Wi-Fi 5 outdoor models. All these are very popular models, and most of you are already familiar with. So this is the Nucleus Connect management portfolio overview. Nucleus Connect offers a unified management platform which can manage all the DAP series access points, and mobile app for the individual AP management, which can be downloaded from App Store or the Play Store. Then DNH 100 appliance preloaded with the Nucleus Connect software, which supports up to 100 AP management. Customer has to pay only for the appliance cost. No separate AP license is required for DNH 100. Then similarly, DNC 100 software, which supports 1500 AP management, and DNC 100 supports both the Windows as well as Linux platform. It is freely downloadable from Nucleus Connect portal. And then last, it supports a single sign-on with the Nucleus Connect portal to monitor multiple DNH or multiple DNCs which are deployed in the multiple campuses. So let's quickly go through the key features supported by the DNH and the DNC management platform. As we discussed about the challenges in the previous slide, to address that, the DNC supports very faster deployments of access point in the campuses. Basically, Nucleus Connect supports automatic discovery of all the D-Link DAP series access point, and required configuration can, like it could be SSID, security, or any other parameters which can be pre-configured and pushed to all the access point using a simple browser or the mobile app. And it supports a multi-tenant architecture. In case of multiple campuses, multiple sites can be created on a Nucleus Connect, and access points deployed in those different sites can be mapped to the virtual sites which is created on the Nucleus Connect. Similarly, multiple users can also be created with a different privilege and can be mapped to those respective sites for the management. So when you create a multiple users with a different privilege, if I create say a site admin, he will have access to only the access point which are deployed locally. Then I have a root admin which will have access to all the sites. Then the software can be accessed from a remote location using a simple browser or the mobile app. And it supports the remote batch configuration. If admin wants to create, say, today I deploy access point, after some time, if I want to change the SSID or I want to change the security, all this can be done with a single push from the central location. And this activity can be done either instantly or it can be scheduled. Nucleus Connect supports different user authentication options for different deployment scenarios. For campus customers, it supports standard WPA2, WPA3 personal and enterprise radius authentication, then MAC whitelist, blacklist, IP filtering. Then there are a few other authentication options which may not be used in the campus, but more suitable for hospitality customer and other public hotspot application. It could be like social media login using Facebook, Google. Then there's the internal captive portals. Then there are the third-party captive portals with SMS OTP-based authentication. Then Nucleus Connect supports end-to-end data privacy. Campus customers basically need not worry about the security part. All the communication between the Nucleus Connect and the APs are all end-to-end encrypted. And it supports local local internet breakout model. It means the user internet traffic can be routed directly from the internet. The local internet traffic will not, the internet traffic will be routed directly to the internet via local internet service provider. That data information doesn't come to Nucleus Connect. So the data stays within the premise and it goes to the respective destination via internet, and data doesn't come to the Nucleus Connect. Only the management data and some logs come to the Nucleus Connect. And we discussed about the importance of the performance in the campus network, stable wireless performance. So for any stable wireless performance, the optimization features are very, very important, especially in the high density and high interference environments. Nucleus Connect supports airtime fairness, band steering, neighbor AP detection, and if the client device supports dual band, then it will give priority for the 5 gigahertz due to the higher number of non-overlapping channels, less interference, and higher throughput. And say if there are older clients with a older window, OS like Windows XP or Windows 7, or older smartphones which are having a older wireless standards, and if the client is little far from the access point, those clients may require little higher timer for the data transfer, which can actually affect the overall wireless performance even for the other users. So access point supports airtime fairness, so that every client which are connected to the wireless network has an equal airtime access. Then Nucleus Connect supports bandwidth optimization based on the access point, SSID, as well as client or RF based. In some scenarios, there will not be any firewalls deployed. So for a user-based upload and download bandwidth restrictions. So if there are no rate limiting or on uplink or downlink bandwidth policy, if there are no policies, then one user can utilize the maximum bandwidth and slow down the internet. In such scenarios, we can use this rate limiting functionalities. And Nucleus Connect support dashboard based monitoring, and we can monitor multiple campuses, network, online, offline AP, then the topology monitoring when offered along with the 1210 series switches. Then it supports floor based monitoring. If there are more than 10-20 access points deployed in a single floor, for easy identification and troubleshooting, we can upload the floor plan image and virtually place those access points on that floor. In case the device, any of the device goes down, the device color turns to red, and it will actually help immediately to identify and zero down on the location for troubleshooting. And there are other monitoring and reporting features like connected client details, and the APE and the switch inventory details, then switch panel based port status, the details of the clients which are actually connected to the individual switch port. Then it supports reporting functionality such as hourly report, weekly peak activity report of last 7 days of both access points as well as the clients, and which is the most active AP in a floor. And for 1210 series switches, it supports a top activity report based on the traffic, utilization, PoE, power consumption. All these reports can be downloaded as a PDF for the analysis, optimization, or the auditing purpose. So now coming to the application deployment part, this is a typical wired and wireless LAN architecture for small, medium, and large campuses. So in this scenario, can be the single building having multiple floors or multiple buildings with multiple floors which are spread across the campus, single campus. Then if it's a small and medium campuses, typically there will be few to hundreds of access points required. And if it's a large campus, there will be more than hundreds of access points required. Here, the switching architecture can be a layer 2 or a layer 3 architecture. For a small and medium campuses, it can be a layer 2 architecture. For a large campuses, it can be a layer 3 architecture. So if we talk about the Nucleus Connect wireless solution components which are going to be deployed in the campus, one is the access point. We can have a DAP series access points deployed in different buildings, different floors, connected to the nearest PoE switches. We can offer a DAP X2810, which can be suggested for a low to medium density requirements, small work area, reception, meeting rooms, or a general purpose coverage. And DAP X2850, which can be suggested for a high density requirements like large work areas. It could be training rooms, conference hall, cafeterias. So when we deploy a high density 4x4 access points, when we deploy high density 4x4 higher configuration access point, we need to consider a proper switching architecture with multi-gigabit switching solution at the access level, 2.5G to the access point and 10G or 25G uplink to the core or the distribution, so that there is no bottleneck created at the switch level. And for the centralized management, for a small campus up to 100 access point, we can offer a DNH 100 Nucleus Connect appliance hub. And for a medium-sized campus, let's say there are 200 access points required, we can offer even 2 DNH 100s and distribute the management, or 1 DNH 100 managing up to 100 access point, and second DNH managing the remaining 100 access points. Or we can also offer a DNC 100 software, which can be installed in the local PC, desktop, or server, and manage all the 200 access points from a single dashboard. And in the large campuses where hundreds to thousands of access points are required, DNC software can be installed locally in a local server and manage all the access points from a single dashboard. So we discussed about the single campus architecture. In case of multiple campuses deployment, wherein customer has multiple campuses or branch offices in the same city or the different cities. Let's say there's a corporate office, corporate campus in Delhi and other campuses, or branch offices in Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, Chennai, or so on. So, and let's say there are 100 access points in each campus, and there are about 1,000 access points. In such requirements also, we can offer centralized management solution with Nucleus Connect. For such requirement, the architecture will be as shown here. On the remote campuses or the branch office side, the access point will be deployed, and there we need only the basic broadband internet access. No public IP is required at the branch level location. In the central location, software can be hosted in the private data center at the head office, which is reachable via internet or private lease line. Software can be hosted even in the third-party data centers like ControlS, NetMagic, Nextradata. There are so many private data center, third-party data centers. Or it can be hosted on a virtual server on a cloud like Amazon, AWS Cloud, or Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud Platform. To manage over internet cloud, the server or the physical, the server, which is a physical server or a virtual server, should have public IP only in the central location. We have then we have a Nucleus Connect portal for a single sign-on. Let's say there are multiple branch offices, each having up to 40 to 50 or more access points. We can offer a DNH 100 or a DNC 100 for in every branch for the local management. We can use Nucleus Connect portal to manage, monitor those. We can use Nucleus Connect portal to monitor all those multiple DNH and DNC which are required in the deployed in the branch offices. And Nucleus Connect portal supports again it also supports the local internet breakout model. It means that user internet traffic will be routed directly to the internet via local internet service provider. Here the user data doesn't come to the Nucleus Connect. It's only the management traffic comes to the Nucleus Connect software. So customer need not worry on the security part. So that was about the Nucleus Connect on-premise or a private cloud solution. Next, we will discuss about the Nucleus Cloud Managed Networking solution. Nucleus Cloud is a 100% cloud managed networking solution. When we say 100% cloud managed, that means provisioning, all the configuration, monitoring, troubleshooting, reporting, everything can be done from the cloud. It supports zero-touch provisioning. That means it's there is absolutely no configuration required at the site or a remote campuses or the branch offices where the access points are going to be deployed. Even if it's a multi-campus deployments, access point can be dispatched to the remote location without even unboxing, and provisioning can be made from the central location. And it is designed for any organization of any size, a single campus or multiple campus, be it 100 AP access point in one single location, or be it 100 access points in 100 different locations. Nucleus Cloud is basically pay-as-you-grow subscription-based service model. Unlike the traditional wireless solutions, So here there is no capex investment required for the hardware controllers. Here Nucleus Cloud acts as a cloud controller, and customer need to buy only the access points and cloud subscription only for those access points. And it supports virtually unlimited scalability. Customers can scale up and scale down as per his requirement. Customer can instantly add 100 access points or 1,000 access points without bothering about the backend infrastructure or the management capability. All customers need to do is buy the access point and cloud subscription as and when required. And it actually simplifies the management. The complete network management can be done from the browser or the tablet app with a basic internet access. And it supports different wireless client authentication option for different scenarios like pre-shared key, WPA3, radius, different type of captive portals, SMS OTP, which we'll discuss in detail in the coming slide. And it also supports third-party location-based analytic solution, which may not be useful in the campus network, but where free Wi-Fi is being deployed in the public places like airport, railway station, malls, or public events, where customer wants to capture some data, feedback, or do some surveys for promotional activities, offers, advertisement. So it is useful in such requirements. It supports dashboard-based monitoring and embedded Google Maps-based monitoring reporting. So basically, dealing team will be continuously working on the improvement of dashboard and reporting and they keep adding new features. The best part of cloud is customer doesn't have to do anything to get those new features which are added from time to time to the cloud, and even the firmware updates for that matter. All these updates, firmware updates, are automatically applied to all the customers, and it supports 99.9% uptime. So Nucleus Cloud Solution is actually built on a very tried and trusted cloud platform. As far as the security is concerned, the complete cloud-based management and the device communication all are encrypted, end-to-end encrypted. User data doesn't come to the Nucleus Cloud. It is only the device management data and system logs that comes to the Nucleus Cloud. Nucleus Cloud supports HTTPS OAuth, open authentication with two-factor authentication for management user login authentication, which is actually similar authentication which is used by companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Google. Nucleus Cloud is actually trustee certified. These are trustee certified for data privacy compliance. And dealing does this quarterly security audit by third-party companies called as a TrustArc, who has more than 20 plus years experience in the security auditing for the data privacy compliance. So this is a Nucleus Cloud portfolio overview. Nucleus Cloud Solution offers DBA series access points, DBA series switches, and DBG gateway, and cloud-based, complete 100% cloud-based management. And we will discuss about the product details with key features, deployment architecture in the coming slide. DBAX 1230p and 2830p are the brand new Wi-Fi access points of Nucleus Cloud family. 1230p is a 2x2 model which offers 600 Mbps on 2.4G and 1200 Mbps on 5G. Total aggregated throughput of 1800 Mbps, that's 1.8 Gbps. And DBAX 2830 is a 4x4 model which offers 1.2 Gbps on 2.4G and 2.4 Gbps on 5G. Total aggregated throughput of 3.6 Gbps. As we discussed previously, even Nucleus Cloud models are similar to the Nucleus Connect models, which offers Wi-Fi 6 support on both 2.4G as well as 5G. And this access point supports zero-touch provisioning. These access points support zero-touch provisioning. These access points can be powered on using a PoE switch, and IP can be assigned via DHCP server or a firewall or a broadband router to get the internet access. There is no configuration required on the access point side. Even one-time configuration is also not required. DBAX 1230p can be suggested for a medium density requirements like work area, reception, meeting rooms, general purpose coverage, or remote branch offices. And DBAX 2830p can be suggested for a high density requirements like large work area, cafeteria, training rooms, or the conference rooms. Even these access points are officially Wi-Fi 6 certified, similar to Nucleus Connect access points. So this is the Nucleus Cloud access point portfolio overview. In addition to two new Wi-Fi 6 models, the Nucleus Cloud portfolio offers 2x2, 3x3, 4x4 Wi-Fi 5 ceiling mount APs and 2x2 Wi-Fi 5 outdoor APs. So as we discussed, this Nucleus Cloud is a subscription-based service model. wherein every device require a cloud subscription. Currently, we offer 1 year complimentary cloud subscription, which is bundled with every device. Nucleus Cloud offers basically two types of licensing option. The first option is the individual, the per device license, and the second option is the co-term license. Individual, that's a per device license. We have option of 1 to 5 years cloud subscription license for access point, switch, and gateway, in addition to 1 year complimentary subscription, which it is bundled with. Then if customer wants to say go with 5 year subscription on day one, then we can suggest 1 year complimentary plus additional 4 years. The only concern with the per device license is, let's say customer buys access point in phases and activate the cloud subscription on different dates. In that case, all the access points will have a different expiry dates. So customer has to keep track and he has to basically renew the subscription as and when it expires. There's also option of customer buying and mapping the renewal license in advance before the access point the license subscription expires, but still it will have a different expiry dates. And the second option is the co-term license. Unlike the device license, co-term is applicable for the entire organization, and it uses a single expiry date for all the devices. The new expiry date is automatically calculated or automatically recalculated whenever customer add a new access point or the new license. By default, Nucleus Cloud supports per device license, and anytime customer can switch over to co-term license. But once customer switch over to co-term, then it cannot be reversed. When we offer a cloud solution to customers usually compare the cloud solution, which is a subscription-based solution, with a traditional on-premise solution, which is actually a one-time buying and owning the entire solution, the entire devices. So sometimes we get the feedback from the customer saying that your cloud solution is little expensive because of recurring subscription cost. In such situation, we can actually discuss and you can try to educate the customer how cloud solution can reduce the upfront investment, capex, opex, as well as the total cost of ownership. If we talk about the total cost of ownership, the cost benefits that actually works differently in different scenarios. If you compare a single campus deployment, in case of traditional on-premise wireless management solution, the customer requires a single or maybe two WLAN controllers for the high availability. So in case of capex, in case of traditional wireless LAN solution, we have to consider, customer has to consider one controller cost, access point cost, AP management license cost, then one-time installation configuration cost. Whereas in case of cloud solution, only AP and subscription cost. In installation configuration, there will be installation and configuration cost, but it will be very less, as it supports zero-touch provisioning and no configuration is required on the AP side on the site. And coming back to OPEX coming back to the traditional on-premise management solution. In case of on-premise, we need to consider additional OEM warranty, support pack. In case of cloud, it is mostly the subscription cost. And in case of multiple campus deployment, in case of traditional on-premise management solution, we need to consider whether distributed multiple controllers or whether it's a centralized controller. In case of centralized controller, then we need to consider the additional connectivity cost. Could be lease line, broadband with static IP, or a VPN connection. And we have to consider engineers multiple visit and the support cost also. Whereas in case of cloud solution, there is no multiple controllers or lease line or VPN connection is required. And in case of on-premise controller solution, apart from the regular capex and opex, we also have to consider unexpected capex, maybe due to controller end of sale by OEM, or it could be compatibility issue of a controller with a new access point, or there could be sometimes scalability beyond the planning. Say customer has bought the controller planning, he will have 50 access points in 6 months or 1 year down the line. Suddenly the requirement increases to 100 access points. That time he may have to replace the entire controller. That new controller may not be compatible with the older access point. So there is additional scalability beyond planning. So in such scenario, customer may have to replace the entire controller solution with the new ones with a new license. So apart from this, we also need to consider physical space, power, backup, then there is a cooling, security, downtime cost in case of on-premise controller. Just to summarize, Nucleus cloud solution drastically reduces the deployment time. It drastically reduces the upfront investment. then it reduces the OPEX as well as the total cost of ownership. In some scenarios, let's say even if Nucleus Cloud CapEx is say higher by 15 to 20% compared to the traditional wireless management solution, for say for 5 years cost difference between the Nucleus Connect and the on-premise solution. But that cost difference can be removed in 2 years, and further it drastically reduces the OPEX cost also. So far we discussed about Nucleus Cloud Solution and portfolio overview, then the licensing, then how we can reduce the total cost of ownership. Let's quickly discuss some of the key features of Nucleus Cloud Solution. So as far as the deployment is concerned, Nucleus Cloud supports zero-touch provisioning, which we already discussed. So the customer, all customer need to do is just create a free organization account on the login.nucleus.com portal and create a sites and pre-configure the profile for the access point and the switches. Every Nucleus device comes with a unique ID, UID, which is printed on the box or printed on the device, printed on the box. So the customer can individually add or bulk upload the device detail to the cloud account without even opening the box. Then dispatch the device to the remote campuses or the remote location. So at remote location, all customer need to do is just power on the device, connect to the internet, and IP assignment can be done via DHCP. The device will automatically register once it gets the internet access. The device will automatically register itself under the customer account, and it will automatically come online and download the configuration. Customer can immediately start using the access point. So there is no router, firewall, or any AP configuration required at the site. So as far as the management is concerned, Nucleus Cloud supports simple browser and tablet app-based management. It supports multi-tenant architecture. In case of multiple location, we can create multiple sites, then map those access points to those respective sites, and we can have a different policies, different authentication for a different sites. And customer can also create a different type of users with a different privilege, which can be mapped to those respective sites for the local administration. And it also supports inventory license management to basically to predict the OPEX or the subscription license cost for the budgeting for the, it could be for next 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. And it supports 100% cloud management. All the feature functionality can be configured from the cloud. All the firmware upgrade also happens from a cloud over the air. And it also supports the alert management. If any access point goes down for more than say a specified time, more than a half an hour or 1 hour, the user can immediately get a mail notification. This is just a snapshot of configuration menus options available on cloud. This is to show that all the features, configuration, optimization can be done from the cloud, whether it is an access point or a switch. As far as the monitoring is concerned, Nucleus Cloud supports the dashboard-based monitoring. In a single dashboard, the number of devices, online, offline, connected clients, top devices, top CPU, port utilization, top Wi-Fi client, all can be monitored on a single dashboard. And it supports embedded Google Map based monitoring and individual device details with the location map. Then it also supports floor map based monitoring. In case of any device goes down, the device color turns to red on the map, so which will help us to immediately identify and zero down on the location. Then it supports detailed inventory management, license management per device, core term, which we have already discussed. Similarly, it supports different type of logs, system log, event log, device reporting for troubleshooting and auditing purposes. So when we discuss about the Nucleus Cloud Solution or any cloud solution for that matter with the customer, about the cloud-based management, the main concern of the customer is the security. Let's discuss how a Nucleus Cloud ensures security, data privacy, and we can provide confidence to our customer. So when it comes to security, Nucleus Cloud ensures security at 5 different levels. One is the device level security, then the device management access security, data privacy, then the admin user login security, then the wireless client authentication. So as far as the device level security is concerned, the cloud agent is actually built into the firmware. So the Nucleus Cloud API can only connect to the Nucleus Cloud, and the Nucleus Cloud API can only be accessed by Nucleus Cloud. And as far as the device management security is concerned, Nucleus Cloud has something called as device adapter. So it generates a certificate for the access point and it provides the access token to the admin user. When the admin user tries to access the access point, it actually verifies both certificate as well as the access token. And if it is valid, then only it will provide the access to the admin user. That too over the secured encrypted WebSocket over SSL. Then Nucleus Connect can be, Nucleus account, the Nucleus cloud accounts can be accessed only via HTTPS and OAuth with the 40-character access token to ensure that all the communication between the administrator and the Nucleus cloud server is encrypted. Now coming to the data privacy part. See, customer data doesn't come to Nucleus cloud. Customer data stays locally or go to the respective destination directly via internet. And we do quarterly security audit by a third-party company called as TrustArc to ensure that data privacy compliance, then provide basically to provide confidence to our customer that we assure the customer that their data privacy is protected. And so our Nucleus cloud is basically Trust E certified, which is a global standard for the data privacy. And we discussed about the data security, device management security, and the data privacy. Now coming to the admin user login security, Nucleus Cloud offers two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication, for two-factor authentication, either we can enable email-based or Google Authenticator-based two-factor authentication for every management users. If we enable email-based two-factor authentication, once the management user logs into the Nucleus Cloud, he will receive a security code on the pre-configured email. It is similar to the OTP. After entering that security code, user can log into his account. Similarly, user can download the Google Authenticator app on his mobile and scan this QR code displayed under his account. That account is automatically mapped to Google Authenticator app, which is installed on his mobile. So whenever a user logs into the Nucleus Cloud account, it will ask for a Google Authenticator code. He has to open his Google Authenticator app on his mobile and enter the code whatever is displayed here. The fifth security part is the wireless client authentication. Nucleus Cloud offers multiple authentication options for multiple deployment scenarios. It supports WPA2, WPA3, radius authentication, MAC, IP filtering for a campus deployments, and it supports social media login, SMS, OTP-based authentication with customized captive portal for public hotspot, hospitality, retail deployments also. Then Nucleus Cloud supports external captive portal for advanced captive portal-based authentication solution and location-based analytics solution, which is offered by a third party. Basically, if you talk about the deployment architecture, the Nucleus Cloud simplifies the network architecture. Here, we can offer end-to-end cloud managed networking solution or only Nucleus Cloud access points. Nucleus Cloud managed access points can work with even with the existing switching infrastructure, even with the existing on-premise PoE switches, which can be a kind of a hybrid solution. So switching can be managed locally, and the access point can be managed from a cloud. Anyway, frequent configuration changes may not be required on the switch side. It is mostly required on the access point side. So in order to manage the Nucleus device, every Nucleus device should have a subscription, valid cloud subscription, and a basic internet access for a cloud-based management. And Nucleus cloud uses out of the band management architecture. So the management, only the management traffic comes to the Nucleus cloud, and data doesn't come to Nucleus cloud. It stays at the customer location. And as far as the management is concerned, it supports a simple browser-based or tablet app-based management. And the entire infrastructure can be managed from a central location or from any remote location. And it supports multi-tenant architecture where we can have a single organization admin managing all the location, or we can have a site admins managing those respective locations. So this architecture remains same whether it's a single location or multi-location, whether it's a corporate office or branch office. So as far as the access points are concerned, DBAX 1230p can be suggested for a low to medium density requirements like work area, small or medium sized work area, reception, meeting rooms, or a general purpose coverage or a remote branch offices. And DBAX 2830p can be suggested for high density requirements like it could be corporate office, large work areas, cafeterias, training room, conference halls. So we discussed about Nucleus Connect and the cloud managed networking solution. The last solution, which is a unified solution, is the on-premise managed networking solution. When we deploy a very large scale wireless in the enterprise or corporate campuses in a very high density environments, we need to ensure that the proposed wireless solution should have certain characteristics. We need to have a certain design consideration to support a mix of application, data, voice, video. Then we have to consider a good user experience, seamless roaming, security, then the user authentication, then there's a guest user authentication, then the visibility, then unified monitoring of both wired as well as wireless network with a high availability to ensure the zero downtime. So unified wireless is actually a more suitable solution for deploying and managing medium to large scale enterprise networks. This solution consists of access points, DWL access point, and on-premise hardware controller, which you can call the brain of the entire wireless network, which supports centralized configuration and management of multiple access points deployed in the different floors or buildings in the large campuses. And the unified wireless supports self-organizing, self-optimizing, and self-healing network capabilities, which we'll discuss in coming slide. And it supports seamless roaming so that user can move from access point to access point without any disconnection. It supports 1+1 redundancy as well as up to 4 controller redundancy in the clustering mode. Then it supports the WIDS, wireless intrusion detection system, to prevent any unauthorized rogue AP or rogue client from connecting to the campus network or have any effect of rogue AP or rogue client on customer network. Then it supports application level visibility monitoring. Visibility is monitoring and visibility. They're basically very important to check for the traffic or the usage pattern and apply the firewall policies and ensure the better quality of services. So this unified portfolio, this is just a unified portfolio overview. Here, the unified solution offers DWL series access point and DWC 2000 hardware controller based management platform. We'll discuss about the product details, key features, and deployment architecture. Here in the unified series, currently DWLX 8630 AP is a Wi-Fi 6 model. Under a unified AP portfolio, there are a few other models which are in the roadmap. Then the DWLX 8630 is a 4x4 model which offers 1.2 and 2.4 gigahertz, 2.4 Gbps and 5 gigahertz, total aggregated throughput of 3.6. This model is also officially Wi-Fi 6 certified and supports Wi-Fi 6 on both 2.4G as well as 5G. And DWLX 8630 has 2.5G multi-gigabit Ethernet port for backhaul connectivity, and DGS 1520 multi-gigabit PoE, which can be considered while offering a unified wireless solution. And this model comes with a UL 2043 plenum rated enclosure, plenum rated chassis, basically for fire, heat, and smoke related safety compliances. And DWLX 8630 can be suggested for high density, high performance requirements for it could be a small campus, medium campus, or a large campus. This is the overall unified access point portfolio. In addition to Wi-Fi 6 model, unified portfolio offers 2x2, 4x4 Wi-Fi 5 ceiling mount APs and 2x2 Wi-Fi 5 outdoor AP. DWC 2000 is basically the hardware controller for the centralized management. It supports management of DWL unified access points, and this controller is optimized for medium to large campuses. By default, it supports a 64 AP management, and for more than 64 APs, additional access points license upgrade is available in 32, 64, and 128 AP license options. And let's say if customer requires around 150 access points, so we can suggest 64 by default, and additional 64 plus 32, 96, additional 96 AP licenses. So max it supports 256 AP management with a single controller. Then it supports 1+1 redundancy. If one controller fails, the redundant controller can provide the backup. The load can also be balanced among the multiple controllers, and it supports clustering and a maximum 4 controllers can be part of one cluster and manage up to 1024 access points. And it supports distributed forwarding so that the data doesn't flow through the controller. Otherwise, the controller can become the bottleneck. So the data will again directly go to the destination via switch and a firewall. Only the management and monitoring traffic logs come to the controller. And it uses auto channel, auto power, WIDS, which are critical for smooth functioning of wireless in a large campuses. So these are some of the key features of DWC 2000 controller. The first one is the application visibility. Application visibility basically helps to identify hundreds of applications automatically and a report on the dashboard. So it could be business applications, social networking apps, P2P or torrent or any YouTube. It shows the traffic utilization of all those apps in the percentage on the dashboard. It makes simple to see what's happening in the network, and customer can use this detail to configure the firewall or high quality of the services, quality of service related policies. And it supports clustering up to 4 controllers, which supports total management of up to 1024 access points. In a cluster, one of the controller works as a master, and all the configuration can be done from a single controller. And it supports 1+1 high availability and up to 4+4 redundancy in a cluster mode. So when a primary controller fails, the redundant controller can take over. Then it supports auto channel, auto power, and RF management. So the controller does basically it does the regular spectrum analysis and automatically assigns the best available non-interfering clear channel to all the access points whenever customer adds any new AP or any rogue AP detected. And then it automatically adjusts the radio power to minimize the interference and overlapping of signals. It also supports the self-healing capabilities now. If say one of the access point fails, then it can automatically increase the power of neighboring access points by 20-30% and try to extend the coverage of neighboring access points. Then it supports WIDS. WIDS prevents unauthorized rogue AP clients from connecting to the network or have any kind of effect. So these are typical wired and wireless LAN architecture for small, medium and large campuses, showing how we can deploy the unified solution for our customers. For small customers, we can offer a single controller solution. For medium to large campuses, we can offer a dual or multiple controller based solution for the high availability. And when we design a Wi-Fi 6 based high performance multi-gigabit wireless solution, we should have a right switching and cabling infrastructure in place as recommended by the industry standard bodies, basically to ensure the optimum performance without any bottlenecks, and also to ensure the scalability. So even if we as you can see here, even the wireless access points require wired connectivity for power as well as the data transfer. So if you are offering a 4x4 model, then we need to suggest a multi-gigabit PoE switches for the backhaul connectivity to the access point. It can be minimum at 2.5G to the access and 10G or 20G uplink to the aggregation, and maybe a single or a dual 48 ports 10G core switches depending upon the number of access switches. Currently we have DGS 1520 series PoE switches which supports multi-gigabit, and there are a few more models which are in the roadmap, near future roadmap, which can be suggested as and when available. So as far as the cabling is concerned, all the standard bodies recommend 2 runs of Cat6a cable for any new deployments. So for large to medium to large campuses, we can offer even the DVU NMS for a unified dashboard based monitoring of entire switching as well as the wireless infrastructure. So this is the D-Link Wi-Fi 6 solution summary of whatever we discussed so far. So currently there are 5 Wi-Fi 6 models which are available in the stock. There are a few more models which are in the roadmap. Apart from this, there are many other Wi-Fi 5 models which are also available in the stock. And either for our customer requirements, either we can offer a complete Wi-Fi 6 based solution or a combination of Wi-Fi 5 for low density and general purpose coverage requirement, and Wi-Fi 6 for the high density requirements for small, medium and large campuses. So the last slide. So what are the advantages for our partner in promoting a D-Link wireless solution? One is we offer 25 plus access point models with different management options for different scenarios. Then we offer officially Wi-Fi 6 certified models with Wi-Fi 6 support on both 2.4G as well as 5G, the latest WPA3 security. So it's a peace of mind for you as well as your customers, so that there will not be any concerns related to the interoperability or performance or any security related concerns. And all the solutions are field proven. We have many customer references in all the segments. Then we have a dealing partner portal wherein we have a Wi-Fi planner tool, so we can make use of that to generate heat map, arrive at the BOQ using a built-in advisor or a manually and generate beautiful reports. Then D-Link offers end-to-end campus networking solution, which includes switching, cabling, NMS, apart from the wireless. In switching on the access point side, on the access side, the D-Link offers gigabit as well as multi-gigabit PoE switches with a 10G uplink. There's a new multi-gigabit model which is in the roadmap, which will support multiple 25G uplinks. And on the core or the aggregation side, as we saw in the previous architecture, D-Link offers 24 port, 48 port, 10 GB switches, 48 port, 25 GB switches with a 100 gig uplink, as well as 32 port, 100 gig switches. Then we have a direct presence and local sales offices in almost 20 plus cities. So our local pre-sales team can help in designing end-to-end solution, including switching as well as the backbone architecture. And then we have RMA offices in 11 major cities, which are directly owned by D-Link for any hardware related services. Then we have a D-Link technical support center at Goa, who can help remotely in basic setup and the configuration troubleshooting. Then this Nucleus Connect access points are very, very simple to install and easier to configure using a mobile app. So we don't have to carry our laptop to the remote location in case of multi-location deployments. And there's no much configuration required on the access point side. It saves a lot of time, whether it's a single campus or multi-campus. Once it is managed by Nucleus Connect or a cloud, there is no repeat visit required to all these locations where the access points are deployed. So it basically saves a lot of time, expenses, and overheads. Though these products are actually officially certified with the enterprise class features, it is still competitively priced, available at the SMB price. And for the partners who are MSP, managed service provider, or the ISP, or the partners who work with ISP, can offer Nucleus Connect solution for managed internet or Wi-Fi for campuses and generate revenue without much worrying about the licensing or the renewal cost. So that's it from my side for this session. You can make a note of below links, mail IDs, and the contact details. And if you need any pre-sales, any sales related support, or have any technical queries, you can get in touch with our local sales team, local pre-sales team, and or send a mail to the below mail IDs, and our team will get in touch with you and try to address your queries and requirements. And thank you once again for joining us for this session. And we appreciate your time. We also request you to provide the feedback via online feedback form. And see you in next session. Thank you. Over to Nilesh.
Yeah, hi Sanjeev. Hello.
Yeah, Divya, would you like to say something?
Yeah, so thanks Sanju, thanks for giving all the insights. Okay. So we are almost done on time. Just
Yeah,
we
so
have
we are done.
explained
Thank you everyone for joining us. I think we've extended the session, but it was quite informative. So thank you, Sanjeev, for taking us through the entire presentation. Guys, in case if you all have any questions, please feel free to write to us. We'll also be sending you a short link with your feedback and inputs. So please, spare some time and share your feedback with us. So that's all from us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. Sanjeev, then we can close the session.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.